Sydney McLaughlin Levrone just sent shockwaves through the track world. The Olympic champion is making her return, and it's happening sooner than anyone expected. After dominating the 2025 season with a performance that rewrote history books, the world's most versatile runner just revealed where she'll kick off 2026. And based on what she accomplished last year, this announcement has everyone wondering what's next. Will she go back to hurdles, stay with the flat 400, or maybe try something completely different? Here's what we know so far. World Athletics dropped a massive announcement in early November that got the track community buzzing. They unveiled the 2026 World Indoor Tour calendar, featuring almost 80 meetings across all levels. The tour kicks off with the New Balance Indoor Grand Prix in Boston on January 24th. And here's where things get interesting. The women's 400 meters has been added as a scoring event this year. That detail alone has fans speculating that Sydney McLaughlin Levrone will be there. Why? Because everything lines up perfectly. She's sponsored by New Balance. The event matches her current focus. And the timing works for launching a 2026 campaign. While official entry lists haven't been released yet, the alignment creates strong anticipation that Boston could mark her first race of the year. McLaughlin Levrone has history with this meet too. Back in 2019, she made her professional debut at the New Balance Indoor Grand Prix, winning the 500-meter sprint in an incredible time that landed her 11th on the U.S. all-time performance list. But let's talk about why everyone's so excited about her 2026 return. What she did in 2025 was absolutely insane. At the World Championships in Tokyo, McLaughlin Levrone made a decision that shocked the athletics world. Instead of competing in the 400-meter hurdles, where she's the undisputed world record holder and reigning Olympic champion, she switched to the flat 400. People questioned that choice. She hadn't competed in the flat 400 at a major championship since trying it briefly in 2023 before injury ended that attempt. But McLaughlin Levrone had faith in her training and a bigger goal in mind. She wanted to become the first woman in track and field history to win world championship gold medals in both the 400-meter hurdles and the flat 400. In the heats, she cruised through without much challenge, looking relaxed and confident. Then came the semifinals. Running in lane 8, McLaughlin Levrone absolutely destroyed the field. She crossed the line in 48.29 seconds, breaking the American record that had stood since 2006 and setting a new world lead. She beat second place by more than a second. After that race, she admitted she didn't expect to run that fast. She said she still had more to show. That's terrifying if you're her competition. 2 days later, the final arrived. Despite rain falling at the National Stadium in Tokyo, McLaughlin Levrone lined up in lane 5. Her husband Andre, a former NFL player, watched nervously from the stands. The gun went off. Olympic champion Marilady Paulino wasn't going to make this easy. For the first time in history, two women would dip under 48 seconds in a single 400-meter race. Paulino ran the third fastest time in history. But McLaughlin Levrone was just too good. She crossed the finish line in 47.78 seconds. That's the second fastest time in world history, just 18 hundredths behind Marita Koch's 40-year-old world record. She broke a 42-year-old championship record. And she did it in the rain, on a wet track. In her first major championship competing in the flat 400, after the race, McLaughlin Levrone got emotional. She talked about how this season tested her faith beyond compare. Making the switch from hurdles to the flat 400 was a God-led decision. She believed God called her back to this challenge after the injury that stopped her 2023 season, not only to chase history, but to develop her character. The year made her more determined, patient, and self-disciplined. 5 days later, she wasn't done. McLaughlin Levrone anchored the U.S. women's 4x400-meter relay team to victory in a meet record of 3 minutes 16.61 seconds. That gave her 2 gold medals at the championships. With those victories, she now holds 5 World Championship gold medals total. So, what does all this mean for 2026? The big question everyone's asking is which event she'll focus on. After winning in Tokyo, McLaughlin Levrone hinted at future possibilities. She said they'll need to talk about the schedule for the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics. Maybe she could do both the 400 and 400 hurdles. She'd need some days off between those events. Imagine McLaughlin Levrone competing in both events at a home Olympics. She's already the world record holder in the hurdles. She's now the second fastest woman ever in the flat 400. Could she win gold in both? Her rival, Femke Bol, has admitted she misses having McLaughlin Levrone as a benchmark to compete against in the hurdles. But for now, all signs point to the flat 400 being her focus. The fact that it's a scoring event at the New Balance Indoor Grand Prix strengthens that likelihood. Surrounded by fellow New Balance athletes like Femke Bol and Gabby Thomas, her appearance would transform the meet into one of the most anticipated early-season showcases. Thomas herself hinted at competing at the Boston meet back in September, saying she'd probably be at the New Balance Grand Prix in Boston at the end of January. McLaughlin Levrone's influence already stretches far beyond the track. In November, she attended the New York City Marathon as a New Balance representative. She posted on Instagram about what a wonderful week it was, full of laughs, incredible people, and inspiring moments. Her story continues to transcend lanes and finish lines. From inspiring children in New York to potentially headlining the Boston opener, she embodies the perfect balance of speed, grace, and purpose. Here's what makes McLaughlin Levrone so special. At just 26 years old, she's accomplished things that seemed impossible. She's a two-time Olympic champion in the 400-meter hurdles. She holds the world record in that event at 50.37 seconds, which she set at the 2024 Olympics. She was the first woman to break the 52-second barrier in 2021, then the 51-second barrier in 2022. She holds 6 of the 10 all-time fastest times in the 400-meter hurdles. Now she's conquered the flat 400 too, running a time that only one woman in history has ever beaten. And that record was set 40 years ago. The versatility is unmatched. She can hurdle, she can sprint flat out, she can anchor relays, she dominates indoor and outdoor, she wins in the rain, she wins when doubted. She wins when the pressure is highest. As the New Balance era of her career gains momentum, one thing is certain: her next race will set interesting standards. Whether it's the 400 meters indoors in Boston or something else entirely, McLaughlin Levrone will show up ready to make history again. Track fans around the world are marking their calendars for January 24th. If McLaughlin Levrone does compete in Boston, it'll be must-watch television. The World Indoor Tour Gold Series attracts the best athletes on the planet. $10,000 goes to winners, plus an automatic spot at the World Indoor Championships. For an athlete like McLaughlin Levrone, the motivation isn't about money or qualification. It's about continuing to push boundaries, testing herself in new ways, showing that greatness isn't limited to one event or one style of racing. Her coach has prepared her body for whatever comes next. Her faith has prepared her mind. Her talent has prepared her for anything. The only limit is what she decides to chase. And based on everything we've seen, she's not afraid to chase anything. So get ready. Sydney McLaughlin Levrone is returning to the track in 2026. Whether it's Boston in January or somewhere else soon after, the world's most exciting runner is coming back. And after what she did in Tokyo, nobody knows what's possible anymore. The records that seemed untouchable, she's coming for them. The events that seemed too different to master, she'll prove otherwise. The doubters who questioned her decisions, she's already silenced them. This is Sydney McLaughlin Levrone's era, and 2026 is just getting started.